Hello, YouTube. We're back with another Challengers League VoD review this time around. It's the last series that I'm reviewing this week. Disguise versus Fear Starforge X, or Fear X Starforge, whatever. Partnerships, big time. The content creators went to war, and unfortunately it was 2-0 in Fear X Starforge's favor, if you're a Disguise fan. Anyway, yeah, excited to see this series, how it pans out. If you guys have been enjoying the VoD reviews, drop a like, comment, subscribe to my channel. Also, you can go to twitch.tv/CubbyXX where I stream these, as I'm currently streaming now. We're going to return to the stream and do this VoD review. So, diving on in. Look at that. Boom. First pick, the Blanc, only DSG. Some things don't change. DSG running a very DSG-esque comp. Point and click, trying to assassinate mid will be Tristana. Tristana can win on both sides later on, which should be quite good for Fear Starforge. We have some nice pick. You don't love to take... It's going to be likely a cleanse. You don't love to take cleanse against this, but Lilia to boot's good. Grog gets to hold down the fort in the top lane. We can kind of hold the line here, too. I like Fear Starforge's draft here. I think that they have bot prio. They should be able to assist the Tristana a little bit mid, dealing with what is pretty deadly here. And then if Triss gets rolling, Triss can take over this game. Not to mention Lilia, who can ramp as well. I think the big... answer here for Disguise that they need to get bot into a good enough position where they're okay going to mid game. They can use their R's to get mid prio and try and take some turrets away from Trist. And if they can do that, they can also hunt the side lane with these two. Because they have 3 to 4 good targets here if you are like Vi the Blanc. So I'll see if DSG can transition their lead cleanly enough to the later stages or the mid to late game. Whoa. All right. Oh, we have someone in the chat installing ceiling fans. We'd love to hear that. Arms and legs are toast. That's not great, though. Hey, at least we did something productive today. Can always take solace in that. Okay, so... Yukino is really trying to see if he can start on that side. Not going to be the case. Instead, it's going to get late invaded by Lilia. I like this a lot. Opt for the split map. Split map for your bot lane. The Varus and Not can and should win early. As Tomo is ignoring the wave here. But they're going to actually get this over to Yukino. But he gets smited away in the end. So, the split map is all XU. And this is not a good start for Yukino. Also, shout out to Keetong subbing in for Poom here. Enchantress Specialist doing his best. So Tomo burned a lot of time there to get nothing for his jungler. Smite was still up for XU, so. I did not cast today. There were no games on today. I did not cast this weekend either. But tune in to LCS tomorrow to support Kangas. That's what I'll be doing. Ooh, good hook from Winsome. I like the timer that Fear Starforge are taking this on because they have Lilia on the bot side. So they can't afford to get feisty here. And they not only win the trade hard, they force Tomo and Keetong under their turret. And force Yukino to come too. Yukino is behind on the play. They do scout him out, but they take a plate. And Yukino loses most of that camp. So XU is just up heavy. Kelly, have you ever thought about doing analytics? I don't have the coding skills in order to do analytics. I mean, I like looking at stats is part of my job, but I can't. I don't have like the raw skills to, like dig into the API and like actually figure it out. I will say that I've started talking with a couple handicappers to see what their algorithm is like and if and how I can learn stuff with that. Because obviously, like, betting on the game is differently than casting it. But if they have edge, and there are specific things that give them edge, I feel like that's really useful to know as someone that's supposed to be smart about the game on cast, too. So I haven't like I always try and like look for different ways to find edge. Alright, good trade here from Young. He's got the support of Nami too. Ends up getting canceled by Winsome, which is good. If that chain connects onto ABO, would have been at least like a trade. And it saves ABO flash for that. That's an ABO did just TP back. So that pretty much gets DSG grubs. Because now we don't have our Trist. Yeah, I don't like... Okay. I like the chunk from Disguised. Gooner myself instead of an Edger, but there. Let me know if you have any questions. I don't do betting stats, but I've used every API available, yeah. I appreciate that, Quana. What... Has there been anything like interesting that you've been working on or looking at lately within the API or the stats like you run on your own? I'm signed, so just building stuff for team. Nice. You can see Tenacity doing a decent job at the top lane. It will be the double scaling items for Philip. So a little bit different than the Raw Tank Gragas matchup. This one has more damage later on, but you lose harder earlier on. I will say that with Roa Seraphs, though, like, you pretty much are just as tanky as the Sunfire build. It's just there's a little bit more kill threat that Renekton has on you. Hmm. I will say I think Yukino has done an okay job of getting back into the game. I think his game was made really, really hard with the first couple clears. I do think the Grubs take really helped him somewhat get back in. But Ablaze Olive is like in really good shape mid. So I think right now, like being up 500 gold for Fierce Darge Forge, I'd say they're up in the curve of the game. I feel like their game is pretty easy right now. I mean, honestly, the thing I always wonder from stats is like have what I wish you could do, and I'm stealing this from someone else, but I wish you could draw a circle around every character for the largest amount of space they can interact with you if they burn everything. So like if Lucian has flash, dash, and ults up, what's that range he can interact with you with? And then when he loses like one of those, what's the range now? Like using that to get used to like where you can stand and how. Like, cause like for an AD, that'd be really appealing. I've always wanted to see like gold prio too, or like gold value. Because everyone calculates gold value in like how much gold you spent and the impact that has on your inventory. I'd like to reverse engineer that though. And like coming out of a fight, go through the gold value of what your items actually got you. In terms of damage that you put out and then damage that you received and like how your items affected that. So like gold value of items post-fight would be an interesting one. Okay, that's how we do have a fight here. This is started by Fear. They do have top priority, but Varus is going to be a little bit late. Winsome walks up pretty heavy here and does get nicked by the bubble. He does his best to get out, and then they catch the Vi, who does buffer, but it's a one-for-one trade. And then when you get the TPs in, I think Philip has a really, really nice play here. So, I mean, I think Ketong's doing his job. But that trade, I think DSG pushed too far up into the river. And that's what gets them, exposes them to Philip. And now, like, if we're losing a Grubs fight, when you have the Renekton team, like, your Renekton came in and lost that, you're kind of in trouble. Boom. As you can see now, ABO, like, coming off this, he's got 2 plates and just forced LB out. And he's got a fresh base now where he's likely as Kraken. Roa's starting to come in here for Phillip, who's still down, but is in okay shape. So, like, Fear being up 1k gold, when, for me, they outscale in every role except for bot lane, is really nice. Their game state's really good right now. Excuse me. Oh my god, dude. I just want to hit play. Please, for the love of God. I'm sorry, team. This is tilting. Tenacity does have ult. I mean, he still dies. That's a little too bad. We're trading Renekton. Oh, that hurts. Okay. Instinct comes through Fog. I think Tenacity... I don't know why Tenacity is holding this choke. I mean, I think this fight's better if Tenacity actually links up with his team here. I mean, okay, so he's here to get Young in. But once Young gets in, I think that the way that DSG has to play this one out is, like, over here instead of in here. My reasoning for that is... if you play in here, you don't have control over this brush. If you play back here, this brush has less impact than if you're playing up here. Because now everyone has to walk through the brush that you don't have control over. Whereas back here, you can at least force them to come to you, and then you can always play for the tri-brush back here. Yeah. It's like they lose control over their control board. And it's a good, decent engage. They get Instinct Flash. It's a nice cask from Phillip. I mean, this fight's just wrapped now. XU flashes. They get everyone. Oh, yeah. That's a wipe. GG's. That's literally just GG's. They just get 5 for Ode. Yeah, I think you want them to walk out of the brush, and then you pick your Vi target from there. This game's cooked. 4k gold lead. A lot of scaling. Like, Phillip is down 34 creeps, but he's going to get more value out of his items starting, like, now. Like, his 2-item spike's crazy. I don't mind the hunt on the ABO. I just, if this is the play we're going for, I wish that it was Young in this lane instead. So I like what so they had Phillip TPN for the fight. Oh, they get a little bit cooked off this. So now they chase Renekton off. They get Triss to free turret. I actually don't... I don't mind this now from Fear Starforge. Because I think Gragas can play into both sides, especially with how far behind LB is. They just got Triss another turret with, like, off these hovers. Then Phillip eats the play against the LeBlanc Vi, which he's kind of built to do. And then the next play is for, like, this long chase on the ABO. And it's just not... it's not doable. Like, we just get absolutely tapped and clapped. We'll put ABO. He knew he was safe. Just take some time. Fuck this, man. It's really, I mean, ABO is getting so fed off this. Like, he's already way ahead of the item curve of this game as this Trist, and Trist is so oppressive if you get ahead like this. Like, he's level 13 Trist. Like, he has a BF sword behind the Kraken and Flicker Blades. It's really tough for Disguise to play this game out. That's a really nice pick on a Philip. Philip takes a little bit of a greedy path here. He just needs to go a long way. As he has the Blast Cone there, so long way is about the same amount of time, too. Nice pick from DSG. That's an oops from Starforge. Or Fear Starforge for sure. Okay. Alright, again, that's really only DSG's only play. They can't opt to fight, so I think respecting that too and like where they're at in the game. Good trade. Oh god, DSG don't even trade. God damn, I think Yukino should have stayed here. I think he should have stayed and group push this wave. Like, what are you basing for? Their red buff? Nah, no. Yeah, ABO just gets the bot waves in so fucking deep. And now we're doing this on vision. Okay, we just saw Lucian dash, and that prompted a Philip TP. Okay. I think Philip can actually... Okay, no, it's fine. It's not worth the E-flash. Would have put himself under turret range. He gets fired. Oh my god. Okay, so, I mean, Tomo react flashes, but that's still so deep from Tomo. I hate this from Tomo. I mean, this is a really hard game to play, but... the E-dashes we've seen, you can see how hard Fear Starforge push once they see Lucian dash. Twice. I feel like their read in the game is a little bit stronger than Tomo's read in the game. The like dash there, just given the lead that Fear Starforge have. I think you have to save that. Oh, great. I can barely see the play because it's so fucking stuttering on 2x. Okay, so Naught's going to walk in and win some flashes on him. And they burn everything on Naught on the Renekton. Oh, it's actually a nice stall. I don't like this. I like what DSG did here. I think the call from Fear Starforge to turn on Renekton is poor. And that opens up a good angle for DSG. I don't think we flash commit on a Renekton as not. Like, Triss needs to be in range and full hitting, if that's the play. Which it was not. Also, Winsome's angle wasn't given away, so he could have waited for Lucian Nami and they could have found that execute. And that would have been GG. This is quite good, though. So they got Instinct's flash in that last fight. This is really good from DSG. I mean, the R does miss, but the culling is really strong from Tomo. He angles that very nicely. It's a really good pick. I really like the play from DSG. They're just taking down the member that doesn't have flash. If you're the Fear Starforge side, no one showed on either side wave, so you gotta play off this. Like, Instinct even going for that E is With no sums, that's like, yeah, that's not good. They take the one control word. They can't get the second. I appreciate the second line. Again, ABO is so big. Have you had Cookout around the South? I've yet to have Cookout, but I know it's got good reputation. I love how you just walk in the stream and ask if I have had Cookout. By the way, that's baller. I respect that. All right, so turns onto the Vi, who gets just absolutely tapped. We sleep to LeBlanc. Philip can't be moved anymore. Phil, I don't mind. I don't love Philip's ult. I think it's okay. I would have preferred if he saved it. Nice. It bangs. Love that. So my sister went to college at Charleston, and she speaks very highly of Cookout. Fast food greater than League. I do love my fast food. Nice hook here from Winston. Gets tenacity out mid-dash, and that just accelerates the end of the game. This game was already pretty cooked. So let's Baron take. What's our deployed like? Wait, I actually get to see a Baron deploy? Holy shit. I love the fact that that Baron was so lame, we just don't force a replay. I get to see the Baron deploy. Tops in deep, we play the 2 long lanes. Okay, this is good. Yeah, I like this. Nice, go bot. Ooh, should have went bot a little bit earlier, but Hexel, Varus poke's too big. Yep. Nice, good Baron. Holy shit, guys. It's week 1, and we have a Challengers League team getting a Baron right. It's almost like everyone in here has played LCS at some point. Okay, that wasn't right. Oh my god, he gets away with it. Huh. I will say, I'm not the biggest Lilia fan right now, but I feel like under the top side, this was a good Lilia draft. You can definitely play Lilia. You're vulnerable to Vi LeBlanc picks, but I think Triss Lilia is very, very viable. And like, you actually have people you can always hit. All right, GG's. Good opening game from Fear. My favorite champ to play right now, I've been playing a lot of support. And I actually kind of like playing Morg right now. I think Morg's not bad. You can go, you can build an AP item. And your damage is okay, and your Black Shield's really valuable. Okay, it's scaling for Fear Starforge. Okay. Game 2. All right, DSG are taking. I like both drafts. Part of why I like both drafts because they're different. I like watching different drafts. Fear Starforge. They take Senna Rumble, which can be a bot lane on its own, but they take the Ornn to secure it. Aatrox, very playable this game early on. Pretty much DSG, this is a 1 to 2 item comp. All these champions, 1 to 2 item, feel really good. And you have some scaling options with these two. Like Ziggs scales really well. But if you're able to force turrets down early, you can easily get to mid-game with like a 4k gold lead plus. If you're going to run like a demolition duo, you know? So I think that this comp for DSG had a really strong identity. Fear Starforge also has a strong identity, and that's in scaling. Rumble is the bridge to the alt. Oh, my voice cracked. Rumble's the bridge to get to everything. Okay? Rumble is the bridge to get to everything. Everything scales on the side of Fear Starforge. So I think that like eventually Sen outranges, eventually Hui outranges. It's tough to dive Kindred with stuff like this. I think Kindred does get a lot of value. It's just like you have to really bait DSG in, and I think they can bait the front line in because it's hard to walk into Ziggs. We have so much range, you almost don't need to walk into Ziggs. So if you get around the R, it's fine. I kind of liked both drafts, and this game was definitely... We saw the power curve of each draft come into play big time. Morg is the enemy, as I often go not. What's the Morg counter? Enchantresses and healing. I think if you run a Lulu into Morg, like there's not enough damage to kill the Lulu, and then you just empower your marksman and you just run down Morg. So if you can neutralize like her Black Shield ever being a thing, or her poke or Q ever being a big thing, it's very winnable. Okay, this is weird. What the fuck happened? What are we trying to do? What? Dude, Ketong is just bailing? Interesting. Alright. Reverse clear. Tomo is Zig, so he gets the CS, but that's... I was not expecting that. Nice Conductor Orm. We'd love to see it. Really nice W from Tomo, who was accelerated. So unironically, Ketong starting out of lane actually paid off. Instinct hits level 2. It's enough. Sorry, going to ads. No clue if you answered. Sorry about that. I said Enchantress gameplay. Anything that can neutral, like that Black Shield doesn't impact. I really like Lulu into Morg, because Morg can never kill Lulu. And your marksman just like Omega outscales. Sports gambling on Challenger. I think that there shouldn't be any gambling on the solo queue ladder. Alright, so XU skips over Gromp. Wait, XU did a 4 camp to get here in time. That's wild. He does get here in time. It's an L though overall, because he gets another really good W from Tomo. So he helps knock XU into Yukino. Yukino's up a level because he got the full clear off. And they get a lot for this. So Tomo gets double buffs, can get this wave in. He has TP, so can keep the pressure up. So it's quite good for DSG. Okay. I mean, XU's like... He's got 2 marks, which isn't bad, but he is behind. And DSG, like, you can leave Ziggs on his own. You can see that they're taking advantage of that now. Tomo is yet to base in TP, so his first base is going to be massive. Like, I think he's looking at Chapter plus tier, which is huge. There's the Chapter and boots. Okay, so we're close. And then, because of the TP back, it's off Instinct base, and we're chilling. Tenacity hits 6 and trades flashes. Does get the Ignite out. So, like, after that, Tenacity is okay in this lane. Because he has TP, and once you get Hex Drinker, like, you do feel pretty good as Aatrox in a Rumble. Like, it's doable. Yeah, I really wish I could see this game. So, XU doesn't have flash. He tries to secure this grub, and he does. Nice. Good find from DSG. So again, the DSG game continues. Also, shout out, Tomo got this wave all the way in. So off this play, he actually walks top. And he interacts with bot wave with his ult. So I really like this from Tomo again. I think Tomo had a really nice game until he didn't for this one. Rock with your traditional sports references on Hot One League. Never let Travis influence you. What sports are we a fan of? I got my Caleb Williams jersey coming in this upcoming week. I'm pretty excited. Easy dive here from DSG. Philip needs to respect this, and this is also off the timer that Philip missed on his own dive. So I like the answer from DSG. It's a really good call from Tenacity and DSG. Because now that, like, now we're in a spot where Tomo's winning bot. We already had, we're winning jungle. Kindred's died twice. We are even mid, and we're winning top. Like, this is a really good map for DSG right now. It's a really good map for DSG. So, like, for me, by all intents and purposes, this game was heading towards a game 3. It was just, like, 2 really bad plays from DSG. And then the scaling kicked in from Fear. All right, 3 top from Fear. What made them call this? This is a good call. Was a failure of an NBA fan, but follow LCS and NFL hard. May or may not be a Packers fan, though. You can be a Packers fan. Packers fans are great fans. And because they're great fans, I'm a Bears fan, and we can at least enjoy that one franchise is a lot more functional than the other. And fortunately, it's yours, but you know, we're trying. And I can respect you, even if I don't like you and your fandom. Because Packers fans are great fans. There's no doubting Packers fans are great fans. Good read by Fear to send 3 top. I don't know why they sent 3 top. I really don't. Like, it's a weird timer in the game, so I don't know what tipped them off to this. They, like, because X's camps are elsewhere, but they win the skirmish really hard. Maybe it's the fact that, like, they want Tenacity while he's down flash, but there's nothing that can, like, really guarantee a play besides raw damage. I mean, this makes sense to me. Like, Winston does chill here. I'd say the one thing that kind of makes sense, but, you know. Always rooting for the Bears when it wasn't important. You all deserve a win. I don't know about that, but I can say that I really need a win. Because it's been a lot of L's. It's going to be Zeke's for Yukino this game. I will say this game, I like Mog's. Because Mog's, I feel like you can push your advantage harder. Because you're going to be ahead in items. You can take dumb trades and stay on map. And that usually is needed for playing from ahead. So I think Mog's high key are better, like... Some will argue it's better from behind because like, you can like take poke and fight for vision. The truth is it's more of a snowballing item. It's always easier to base and return to your spot when you're on your side of the map. So for me, I actually think DSG's ahead. I want Yukino to go Mog's this game. What are your thoughts on 3 tournaments to split? I'm a fan. I don't love the tournament or the format of the new tournament that they announced. I feel like 5 teams or Fearless Draft is distracting for the fact that it's only 5 teams. I cannot tell you a single good 5-team tournament I've seen outside of like those teams being in the single region. Like there's nothing that gets me excited about a 5-team tournament. I'm be real. I'm really not trying to hate. I just think that like I've seen this tournament before with MSI and I'm not a fan. Okay, Winston gets out here. This is, I think, part 1 of how and why things start going Fear's way again. I mean, I'm down for this play on Winston. I think it's a good flash. And after the flash, like, they just end up being overcommitted. Because Ketong, like, they lose Tomo flash, they lose Ketong flash, they lose Ketong. And it's all, like, for a Drake play. So this, for me, is an unnecessary play. Like, we're opting the force here, and it's very close to them. So they, like, what are we getting for that? We secure Drake, but we didn't need the... We actually didn't need the fight there to secure Drake, so... I think that was poor. And losing those conditions are really big, so, like, for me, it's not worth it. All right, so we're at the Ziggs condition where we're 14 minutes into the game and we knock down pretty much every plate. We're up 3k gold. It's been a really good early game for DSG. That last play, I think they lost some of their momentum and tempo. We're down flashes that we didn't need the sack, and we didn't get enough for it. I like this trade from Fear. They're getting gold on like the least important target for me, but at least they're playing to a side of the jungle where camps are up, and this actually helps get XU at least like on the move. I think we're at 4 marks now for the Kindred too. Did he have a mark spawn? Actually, where is his mark? It should spawn here. No, no mark. He evolved his jungle pet. I don't like this Rift Herald. I mean, it misses. They still get the turret. No, it's fine. It's fine. I will not get picky over that. It's fine. You get a lot of gold. You took down a turret. It's fine. Oh no, we're still at 2 marks. Okay, Ben. That's 3 though. Shout out to our observers catching Kindred marks. It's nice. So now Disguise, they see that being taken, they shift to this. ABO gets out. So, I mean, this is part, again, like, if you don't remove... Like, you can always play defense under turrets with a range of Senna Hui. And the wave clear is starting to catch up. So, like, this is... The early game for DSG is always going to be really good. I think that one of their mistakes, though, is that... For me, like, in this series, and part of why I kind of want to hold Rift, is I kind of want Aatrox to, like, be... of presence on the side lane. I think after this wave, Tenacity can actually go at least try and contest top. Because we can always TP to interact. I think keeping him here, we only play out this wave. And also, I think it's easier to play towards... we're playing towards Ziggs lane. It's fine. I just don't like playing into the Hui lane. So I'm wondering if we, like, the only time I want to play into Hui lane is if it's Corki versus Hui 1v1. And I have my jungle on that side. So I by not connecting with this play, keep in mind, we lost a really big wave top lane for Tenacity. So Tenacity stayed here for nothing. Really nice satchel from Tomo. He does have to flash, but they burn everything on him. And he can stay in the fight. Where did Yukino Glacial Prison go? It was hopped away by XU. Okay. I think going for XU on that HP is not terrible. XU does a decent job of managing this fight. This fight's over once nothing connects on the Ziggs. And Ziggs has TP, so it's okay from Tomo. Like that's worth Tomo flashing 100%. And his timer will be up in time for the next objective, which is big. Again, we play into the Hui lane, and it ends up being frisky. Oh, he gets rooted? That's really bad. What did he get rooted by? It was... Oh, God. Milan. That's bad. That was bad. Also, congrats on running these days. Running is hard. Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, I've not been as good at running this week, but we're trying to get back into it a little bit. Running is satisfying. I should run more. With the league going down to 6 teams, will Academy Challenger become relevant? Or will same pros swap around? I don't know. I think it's going to be relevant. But I think that because promotion relegation is introduced back, teams will take safer bets. I actually think it's going to be important for teams like FlyQuest or TL to stay involved in the ecosystem, even if they can't promote in. Like, in theory, they could sell their slot, but I think those teams are going to be more so encouraged just to take risks. I feel like if you're an org like Fear Starforge, you have so much to gain from promoting that you actually are just going to run like what Fear Starforge are running now, you know? Like, 4 out of 5 of these guys have been LCS before. And I don't think, like, Instinct or Philip got the most fair shots in the world. I don't think any of them got a fair shot outside of ABO. But there is, like, enough experience on this roster, and they made a rather safe bet overall. Like, there's a great player in Tier 3, Kryra, who I think is really good and should have been in NACL this split. But if you're, like, let's say it's a promotion relegation split. That's not the case this split, but you're going to be way more likely to take XU, who you just saw play in LCS and, like, do fine. If you're an org that, like, is trying to get in, because the business benefit of just getting into the league is so big, and it's so much less work for you to just use someone like XU, who is, like, there now, rather than, like, taking a bet, like, okay, I need this person to work out. So I feel like we're just going to see less risk taken with roster building, which kind of is a bummer. It's like, I mean, getting the Masus or the Sajeds of the world, for me, is what makes this league exciting. And I'm hoping that players can be good enough where, like, you can still have that happen, but the player base is a little bit less, so I think it's mostly going to be familiar names now. Because, like, that plays a little bit of a factor, too. And I always like, root for the kids that I feel like are, like, the good risk to take, you know? Hard for us to take bets on players. One split contracts as well. That's valid. That's true. I look at Toasty, right? Like, Toasty was with Fear. He improved, and he went to the org with, like, a tie to NRG. And I know for a fact that NRG are interested in Toasty. All right, this is a good pick on the XU. They got this ult off first. I know I kind of went on a tangent there. They didn't take him down. So I think the 50-50 is fine, but you can see the Ziggs is starting to do some big damage. We do have to talk about this fight. This is the Soul fight, where things start to get a little bit hairy. So again, DSG are up. They're holding space. I think it's really tough for Fear Starforge to get in. So they play for the turret, and I mean, the objective's not up yet. I think Tenacity's TP is a little bit early, and he gets spotted out. So we're just kind of in a poke war where the Ziggs, in theory, is of value. Ketong's way too far up here. Ketong is being a little bit troll here. There's just, like, make them walk into you. You have the objective, right? So I think walking up to try and find an engage when there's no follow-up is very poor. Ketong is subbing. I wish I'd see Ketong play a full split in this league, honestly. I think he's a player that definitely, like, deserves it at some point. So just always being a sub. I know he coaches a little bit too, but nice W here from Tomo. Like, still, the setup from DSG just is not as good. And at this point, the setup way is, like, pretty solid holding the line. So you can start to see, like, they're getting into it a little bit more. Tomo's stepping up to try and find some poke. Nice way W. Tenacity had the base, and he has no TP. So his TP again, a little bit early. We're down a man. The poke just keeps on coming in. It ends up being yoinked by Ziggs, which is huge. So now they back off and get Ocean Soul. But, like, you can see this fight, like, I feel like Fear Starforge, like, their comp's playable now. And they won most of this fight. This game's a lot closer. Now, Ocean Soul is nice. Like, you can just always play off Ziggs now. Okay. So ABO is low mana. They get a nice chunk on him, but Young Flash for me is not worth that. And then Tenacity gets jumped on. Yeah, so good find from XU here. XU cannot afford to be here, and it's a nice TP from ABO. I love the commit. And that's a pretty big mistake from Tenacity. So, like, and then now it's like, why are we ever in this position? Like, this, so we're just not synced here as DSG. And we get one shot, we burn TP, so now we can't answer Baron. And Philip actually maneuvers his way out of this. XU has Tham's Respite. They flash on XU. He still gets it off. And Senna gets it. XU did not get a smite down. A little bit early. He was stunned. Unlucky. So DSG, just everyone died. And now they're going to get outscaled. Like, this was such a tragic loss. They just pushed, like, 2 waves they shouldn't. I feel like their mid to late game is still, like, very slop. I wonder if, like, they've almost just been winning scrims so hard that, like, they just don't get to those stages. And I know Ketong's a sub. But, like, they look kind of lost. Maybe Poom's just responsible for that with this team, mostly. Might be something to look out for. Tomo has flash, but he gets one shot. Tomo tried to W this to kill it, and he missed. When he burns W like that, he's just dead. So that's very greedy from Tomo. So, like, again, Tomo, like, using some of his safety sums willy-nilly is definitely something I'd have in a scouting report. Because between Lucian Dash and Ziggs W, like, those are your core abilities. If you sack those, and then you have plays made onto you, I do not feel nearly as much remorse for you. If he has W there, he has a way to outplay Kindred. Instead, using it to try and kill the blue buff and not getting anything for it's quite poor. That's been both games where he uses, like, very important sums very liberally. Something I don't love to see. I feel like Tomo does a lot of stages of the game very well. To not do that stage of the game well as well. Because he's coming in with advantages for the most part. Because he's playing these, like, he's playing really good in these games. Especially early on. Alright, so DSG has Ocean Soul. So any poke they connect is very valuable for them, just given that it is Ocean Soul. I'm going to slow this down because my computer can't fucking handle it, or the stream can't handle it. So I mean, any trade. Ooh. That's a really nice engage onto the Hui. Like, they get Kindred ult for this, and if they just reset the fight with Ocean Soul, they're fine. I think Yugino going on Philip there is a little bit forward. All you have to do is just Ocean Soul back up. They have Mogs too. Yeah, Yukino's healing's crazy. That's fine from Ketong. Yeah, bully them off the fucking plant. Let's go. Oh, they tried to get instincts. And then Axu, during all this, just wrapped around. He was just allowed to walk around. So I think this is the other mistake here. Because Axu is kind of last spotted here. And he gets all the way around and is not being followed anymore by DSG. I can't see what DSG's wards are like. Try and check coming out of the fight. But they miss Axu. He gets Elder. And then it's so tragic, man. The engage on Instinct from Tenacity, like, it was not good. Ketong... I think Ketong needs to flash on Instinct here with Tenacity, and, like, they start the fight there. If you want to go for that play, they don't. And it's just a tragedy, man. It was actually just, like, oh. Like, I mean, DSG, I really feel like DSG should have won this game. And they just fucked up 2 plays, and it's like, it's just doomed. A lot of Skarner top lane. I like Olaf or Zach. Or Mordekaiser. Yeah, Ziggs was hitting. But, like, oh, 2 of the games are just so tragic. Anyway. Alright, guys, that's it for me with VoD reviews. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'll see you guys on YouTube. If you guys like the content, please like, comment, subscribe. All supports my channel a lot. And we'll see you next week for week 2.